Yep. Yep. Y'all know what it is, man. We back up in here on the Friday, man. Eagles Way of Boxing. Look at this here, man. Friday, wonderful Friday the 12th, man. Wonderful Friday the 12th. Finally we got another 12th. It's not the 13th. And this is Friday, I believe, right? It's Friday. If it's not, I'm in early or I'm a day late. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We still going to have a show. Whether I'm a day early, a day late, but I'm believing it is Friday. According to man's calendar, it is Friday. And who made up these days anyway? Anyway, that's too big of a subject. Not going to get into it. The Friday's out there. I see you out there, Sir Flame. As out here. First man in. First man walking. Sir Flame up in here, man. Yeah. We're going to try to do we're going to talk about flyweights today. This is very, 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 very interesting category with the flyweights. Yeah. It's actually one of my, it used to be one of my favorite divisions. Is one of my favorite fighters. I'm not going to discuss in this division, but I'm not going to talk about that. But it's hard to have, you got to more or less be like a scholar or something like that if you're going to name favorites and stuff like that. But if you see these faces up here, I'm not going to say that these are my favorite guys, but some of the accomplishments are my favorites. I'll put it this way. Okay? So this should let you know. So why has he got them up there? It's because of the accomplishments, okay? That's what it is. It's the accomplishments. And a lot of people, what they don't understand, what they don't know, is a lot of history with, we kind of forget about the history of boxing. We usually stick with welterweight. Matter of fact, welterweight and heavyweight. Welterweight, I think middleweight and heavyweight probably are the ranges as far as like fights and stuff like that. Fight weight, those are the ranges that have a lot of prestige and always have held like a lot of prestige. But we kind of tend to forget about these lightweights. We forget about them. We forget the significance because everything has a significance, right? And we look at stuff as being significant in certain weight classes, like those upper weight classes. Yep. But Sir Flame up in here, he said it's Friday all day today. Don't worry, I'm gonna get around to. I'm gonna read what you got because I always got to read that. That's my favorite statement. That's my favorite statement, man. So I just wait around until we get a few other people in here. Gil Cole should have been here. I don't know what's wrong with Gil Cole because it is Friday. That's why I had to make sure it's Friday because I know there's no excuse for him to not be here on a Friday. And not what I'm saying is like early because he's usually here early on Friday. So that's what I'm talking about when I say Friday. Yeah, he's usually here early on Friday. I don't know what it is today. He's sleeping. He got that slow motion. He got that slow motion with it. I don't care about your slow motion. You do your slow motion there. Yeah, lotion time, baby. I love some lotion. I don't know why. I always love lotion. I don't know. My skin would probably fall off if I didn't have lotion, man. Because I love some lotion, man. Some people don't care about lotion. And when I was growing up, it was lotion. You had three choices. If you were special, or if your mom saw that you was a little bit too dry, then you get that lotion. But on a everyday basis, it was mostly like some baby oil or something like that. Baby oil, and I didn't go way back to the real old school. But you could, there was times that, it depends on what family you was with, that you could go ancient school when it comes to putting those emollients on your skin You know, you might be all the way back into some bear grease or something like that. You might be way back there, you know, or just some heated up fat or something. Yeah, but the other one was that Vaseline. Vaseline. We used to have a jar. We used to have a gallon jar of Vaseline. I don't know. I don't know. They don't make stuff like they used to, man. They used to make this big plastic thing of Vaseline that lasts you more or less a lifetime. I guess they stopped doing that because you would only have to buy one. Yeah, okay. I see you down there. Just Surf Flame say I don't know a lot about the flyweights. I know names, but that's it. Yeah, even the names are difficult because most of them are Asian. So big shout out to the Asian fighters today. So I'm gonna give some shout outs to the Asians. I'm not gonna say that they. These are all record. The ones I'm gonna talk about are more or less, icebreakers. So I'll put it that way. They're more or less like the icebreaker. I see down there, y'all sir is up in the house. He says salute Eagle. Got the hand up good, got the fists up good. That's right. Sir Flame up in here too. Okay, he said it. He said salute at Sir Flame. One screen is behind. I got one on the back burner screen or whatever, you know. They put that slow screen in so you can catch up with the stream, I suppose, something like that. That gives them time to watch you. They can edit, so it's not exactly 100% live. They probably got like 3 different speeds on these live streams. You know what I mean? But salute to y'all sir out there. They probably got 3 different. They got one that's live, and and then that's the one that they get, and then they put one a few seconds behind. That's the one you guys get. And then they put one another few seconds behind that, and that's one that I see, and they put one behind that too. It's like, why? But anyway, yeah, we up in here like always, man, on Friday, man. With no trivia. Yeah, I might throw a few trivia questions out there. Here's my real trivia, though, is what the hell's going on? That's Eagles' real trivia. Is what the hell is going on, man? With this boxing, man? How come we always got to ask that? How come we always got to ask that also important question of what's going on? We always got to ask that. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What y'all doing? What you doing, Crawford? What you doing, Spence? What you doing, Jamel? What you doing, Jamal? What you doing, Wilder? What you doing, Fury? What you doing, Canelo? What you doing, Lopez? What you doing? Damn, Haney? What y'all doing? What you doing, Plant? What you doing, Smith? We got to ask them questions. See, yeah. Hey, you didn't know I had that many fighters on top of my head, top of my brain, huh? What you doing, Protect? I don't know. We just keep going, huh? What you doing, Logan? What y'all doing? What's up with it? What you doing, Tyson? What you doing, Jones? What you doing, Holyfield? What is everybody doing up here in this boxing? What's going on? I like to say it the way I like to say it. But what's going on with this boxing? What's going on, man? What's going on, Sir Flame? What's going on, y'all, sir? What the hell's really happening in this boxing, man? Are we going to get some real stories? Can we get a story? I'm just trying to get a story, man. Can we please have a story out of somebody? Sir Flame crying. Yeah. Can we please have somebody's story, man? Can somebody tell a story? I need a storyteller or something, man. At least, can I sit down and have an old time talk with the elders and stuff? Even though you're not elders, you just youngsters. You know, some of you just breaking 20. It's weird, man, because I met this girl that was, I didn't meet her like that. It's before you even start. No, I met this girl. I was telling her about something. I said, I used to do something like in 2000. I said, I used to do something in 2000. And because she was asking about this, something like that. We was talking about like a park. It's a theme park. But it used to be like a major company, a movie company, used to run the park. Paramount used to run the park. Right. And I told her, I said, I used to work over there. I said, like in 2000, I was working at this park. I said, I worked at this park, in like 2000 something. It was 2000. No, I'm going to say it was like 2004, like 2004 or 2005 that I used to work at this park. Chasing people down who was doing the inappropriate thing. I wasn't even security. I used to just like to help them out, just because it was fun. But she was like, I think I told her 2000, but she wasn't even born. So she's like, yeah, she said I was just born in 2002 or something. I'm like, what? Just to see somebody who was just born that, it don't even seem like yesterday, right? To see somebody who was just born like that, it's like, and be already grown, it's funny just to like, huh? You're a big girl now. Big girl. Not like that, but you're a big girl now, but dang, you wasn't even born. So I was having fun at theme parks before you was even born. Yep. Look at y'all, sir, down there. But yeah, put your hands up. You better have your hands up. I'm going to read down there. I still haven't read what Sir Flame put down. I'll get to it. You already know. He said, I don't think we will see that many big fights this year. But I don't know. We don't, that's the whole thing. We don't know. Everybody in this posturing mode. And Earl Spencer is going to clown the hell out of everybody. Y'all better try to fight Earl. So for whatever cost, y'all can fight Earl. Because Earl going to clown. Earl got the most belts. He got a couple of belts now. And y'all going to try to like negotiate. And it's not Ugas and Crawford. I don't care what kind of name you guys have. You guys just ain't a big enough. You guys can't fill up. You guys can't fill up with nothing, man. I'm telling you, can't fill up a grocery store, a small grocery store. You can't, man. It's just, I don't know, man. See, that's what Earl's going by. Earl's going by numbers. A lot of these fighters are now going by numbers and stuff. But I like the pressure. The pressure this coming to Canelo in all different directions. You know what I mean? I didn't try to make him a discussion. I just brought it up real quick. But I don't like to ever make him like a topic. And yes, I'm bashing him. You know what I mean? If I'm bashing him, then yeah, you could be in Eagle's Web if I get to bash you. See? If I don't get to bash you, I don't want to talk about you. I don't want nobody bringing you up about how great you are and stuff like that. I just don't want to. I don't want you brought up, man. I don't. It's a few fighters I just don't want brought up. But we got to see what they're going to do. I think what interesting fight for me is actually, it's kind of interesting because it leaves neither one of them can say anything if they lose. And that's Broner Rougarou. Neither one. If you lose, you can't say shit. You can't say nothing, Broner. Broner already got his last chance, and now we got to give him a last chance and a half. Now, so he's on his last chance. So he used up half of his last chance. For some people, he already had his last chance, but he used up half of his last chance because as a lot of people don't believe that the fight went the way that they say the fight went. They believe that you lost. That's why I got my breastplate shirt on today. You likes? It's cool, huh? I wear this every once in a while when I come on here, or one similar to this. You know, keep my native stuff. As long as I'm covered up, people won't come touching on it or saying how cool it is or something. As long as if I keep it covered up, as long as I have a jacket or a coat on or something like that, which I probably will when I go to work because it's going to be cold. But these touchers, I'm like, God dang, these people, they love to touch. Okay, y'all, so he's bringing up something that's pretty important. I think it's pretty cool that he brings that up. He said, Eagle, can we do a conspiracy theory episode like Ali's Phantom Punch or Ludwigs Death? Of course, there must be way more, but those are two I can remember off the top of my head. We can do that. We can do that. As a matter of fact, I don't know. That's good. That's good that it comes off the top of your head. But we've been talking about conspiracies here and there, not just the modern day conspiracy. We talked about the Hagler conspiracy. We talked about, matter of fact, we just talked about that other conspiracy. But we didn't have a lot of participation when we talked about the Panama Lewis and stuff like that. Remember, Luis Resto? We was talking about that against Billy Collins. Remember, we talked about that. We talked about that the other day. This wasn't a whole lot of participation because you guys were busy. Everybody's busy. So somebody was driving at work, or you were busy doing something else. You know what I mean? So we'll look into those. We'll do some investigation and look into those. I'm gonna call a friend up. I'm gonna call a friend up about that. Yeah, sir. Well, that punch that Ali used. That one thing about that punch. That was the anchor punch. That was it was a sleeper punch. It was a punch that make you just slow yourself down. Like it was fast. And the thing about it is, they did say that Liston did receive a concussion, but did it come from that punch? Was that a payoff? That whole Liston thing, man, that's just like that's a huge can of worms. But maybe we could look into that, or maybe we'll find something that's interesting that nobody else really looked into. I'll tell you one that's nice to look into, because we don't know how far he would have really went, and that is the Reuben Carter. That would be interesting because they even had a movie too. They had a movie called The Hurricane, so that would be interesting to dive into that. Sir Flame out there, he said Fury AJ not done. He said Pack and Manny not done. Bud no fights yet. Spence Ugas is a good one. Tank almost done, so it might be some good ones after those. That's what I'm saying. Look, that's a damn shame, man. Look, isn't this a shame that when you try to have a live, modern, like today, the 2021 boxing talk, and you can't even talk about today's boxers? I mean, you can't talk about them like they about to fight. You know what I mean? Like, y'all gonna fight? You gotta ask. That's a damn shame when you gotta ask questions like that. Where you gotta ask, are y'all gonna get this in? Why are we asking if you gonna get this in? Why do we as fans, why do we gotta even ask? Why is somebody asking if y'all gonna get it in? Are they gonna get that in? We are hoping they gonna get it in. Well, I don't know if they gonna get it in or not. Are they gonna get it in, yes, sir? What about the Sir Flame? Are they gonna get it in? Who's gonna get it in first? Look, that's a damn shame where you can have wagers on who's gonna get it in first. We can actually have a discussion. We can have a discussion about who's gonna get it in first. Is one of y'all gonna get it in first? Huh? Who's likely to get it in first? Clarissa Shields? Always seems like she's getting it in. But who's gonna get it in first? As far as the men, who's gonna get it in first? Another question. Here we go. Is Loma desperate enough? Are you desperate enough to go in there against man killer Haney? Haney's gonna whoop your ass. I hope you know that. I'm looking forward to Haney whooping your ass. I see some good things about Haney right now. I don't know. Haney, they've been coming to my show, man. I wanted to show him some stuff, but it looked like he's catching on. So if the posturing is correct, then I look for Haney to start putting them paws on somebody a little bit harder. Huh? It looked like somebody old school might have stepped up or something. I'm just basing this off of snapshots. I can read a lot from pictures and stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm just basing it off of that. So don't be surprised if Haney steps it up. But Tank going to get one of these boys knocked out. If they get their ass in there. Nobody seemed to want to fight. Everybody think. Here's a question before we go on. I'm gonna give y'all a question. I'm gonna give y'all some time to think about this one. Well, I'm not gonna give you no time to think about it. Not like half a day. You don't get the whole show to think about it. And I know we don't really think about that. That's not one of our things that we care about your money, fighters. We don't. But who right now, I'm not going to put a price on it, but who deserves a bank right now? That's the question. If you could write down why, that'd be even better. But who deserves a bank? As far as the fighters are concerned, who is deserving of a bank right now? Somebody let me know. I need somebody. I need one of my... I talk to y'all like y'all callers or something, huh? No, but y'all participants. Y'all participant. Huh? Y'all here to participate. Just happy to participate. But let's see. Y'all get that in there. I'm gonna close my eyes right now till y'all get that question answered. Who deserves the bank right now? Y'all can write down why or whatever else, or you don't have to. Just let me know. Closing my eyes, man. I'm gonna close my eyes. When I open my eyes, hopefully I'm gonna see an answer out there. Do I have to play? No, just close my eyes. Don't say nothing. Now, why did I had this thing working right, and now all of a sudden the first couple of sounds sounded good, and then it just started jacking up. Come on now. Okay, about time for me to open my eyes back up. Hussein is down there. Hussein is not insane, but he's opening up that brain to give me the main man. He gave me the E to the J. He said, Earl deserves that money right now. Yeah, Earl is making money moves. Earl is showing what you got to show in this boxing today. You got to show it. You got to show it. And that's what he's doing. Everybody else posturing and pretending and hiding behind image. Oh, I'm great. I'm a great. You can't call yourself. Everybody trying to be Ali, but ain't nobody Ali. See, and that's what you guys, are you guys realizing that? See? They trying to pretend like they're Ali-est. Is that what they say? They say S. Is it est or is it EST or ESS? Is it S? You know how they in America we play with the words, and then if somebody's kind of like somebody, we put the ES. I think it's ESS. I think it's ESS, We put that at the. I think it is. I'm no linguist, so don't. If I'm wrong, hey, I can be wrong. I'm not worried about it. But we always put, we got to put that stamp on it, like the S. Like Mike Tyson S. That's for like the Tank Davis. Because he's knocking people out. And I agree with your pick there. Yeah, sir. That's one pick. But I agree with that. In other words, pay Earl. Let's get some fights going. I was actually going to pick. There was other people that I was going to pick. I didn't. For the flyweight. Now, one, he wasn't that great, but he was actually unified for a while. But the thing that kind of killed it, for me is that, I don't know. When you start doing, because then when you go to jail and stuff like that, or prison, and then people look at you a certain way, or whatever. And so I didn't want to make it, I didn't want to make it one of those things. Yeah. But just to let you know, I like the name, man, because there's been movies and stuff like that. And I was talking about Jackie Brown, but that's not. But guess what? Jackie Brown's name was not Jackie Brown. That's not his real name. But a lot of people use that name, the Jack Brown, Jack Black, Jack. People love Jack. I don't know, but you know that, y'all, sir. But over here in America, they love that Jack. If you're not named Jack, you probably know somebody named Jack or Jackie. We got to have Jack. We got the Jackson, the Beanstalk. Back in the day, they used to play a game called Jacks. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all wasn't even born, man. Y'all wasn't even born, man. At least I was a baby. At least I was little. Y'all wasn't even around. Let me see what else. Of course, we got Jack Johnson. But people love Jack. But anyway, his name actually was John Brown. Yep. And flyweight, pretty decent. He was a flyweight boxer. Here we go again. That's family. I can tell by y'all can just ignore that because they have to wake up and then they realize, oh yeah, that's right. He's doing the show because they know not to disturb me, but he's doing the show. Oh, I just forgot. See, that's why I went short. If you hear it ring again, then that means they totally forgot. But since it's quit before, it could have kept ringing, but it quit. That means they finally they got their senses and said, oh shoot, he on that show. But anyway, so John Brown, John Brown's still good as a name, but had another famous person that was for the liberation of colored folk named John Brown. We're not going to get into the history and stuff like that. But he's known as Jackie Brown, right? He's flyweight boxing champion. He held, back then, I think it was national, right? Is that what it's called? National Boxing Association. Yep. In the IBU, which, held up those British belts, and British flyweight titles. He got stripped. Of course, he got stripped of his titles while still having not been beaten at flyweight since his beginning reign. So he never really lost. So time he went to prison, then he started losing. He started losing his belts and stuff. Yep. Yeah, and then he had a 15 rounder. Had a 15 rounder, man. It ended up in a split. I really don't know how you can get a 15 rounder to end up in the split. And yes, you got to have one of those rounds. You either have to have some 10-8 rounds, or if that was 10-8 back then, or you can't decide. I don't know how many times you can't decide on a round. Because remember, they used to do rounds too. Oh, I think he won that round. And then sometimes you couldn't give it to nobody. Oh, I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to give it to both of them. See, back then. But the reason I picked that is because I like some of the names, man. The names are just crazy, man. And I'm surprised you guys didn't know who this was up here. Up there in the like right next to Ali on the as you're facing the screen. I think is on left. Y'all don't recognize who that is? Yeah. That, damn, that's good, y'all, sir. Yeah, you get a thumbs up for me on that one, y'all, sir. You get the thumbs up. I got to give you the thumbs up on that one. That's a good one there, because you know what? I've actually thought that before, but never actually said it. I never. If I can find a star, I'm gonna give you a star, man. That's a star. That's a star comment today. Let me see if I can find a star. Shit. This classroom today, you know, you little, you get stars, right? Stars. I used to love getting stars. You get a star. I can't find. Let me get. I don't know if they worked or not. You get your stars, and that's before I even read it. But I got to go back also. I have to go back to. I got to go back to Surf Flame. Because he probably thinking, oh, Eagle forgot. No, Eagle didn't forget. Eagle did not forget. I was just thinking that maybe Derek and somebody would be up in here. And I don't know, I don't even see Derek. And I usually count on Derek, because Derek usually be up in here. Okay, now, there we go. I got the whole thing out. Gave him a stars and a thumbs up. Because that's what it is, though. He's absolutely, unequivocally right about this right now. He's right about that. He said that they want to be loved like Ali and have money like Floyd. The key word is not Ali. The key word is not Floyd. The key word is wannabes. Huh? You can't get no deeper than that. They wannabes. Yeah. But this back to the top too, though. So right now, who are the flyweights for the day? I know we don't really keep up with them, but who you guys got? Huh? Who you guys got right now? Huh? You guys don't even know. You guys like, God dang, I don't even know, man. I don't know, Eagle. I don't know. Because all of them, guess what? All of them is coming out of, they mostly coming out of Japan. Yep. That's where they coming up. That's where they come out of. Yeah, a lot of them coming out of, yeah, and that's where they came. These smaller guys, like I said, most of them come out of like Asia. Some of them come out of different. They come out of everywhere too, though. They come out of the U.S. Not very many of them. Some of them out of Mexico, even South Africa. Y'all don't even know that, huh? Do you guys remember Baby Jake? Y'all probably. I bet y'all seen his fights. Y'all don't even remember, huh? Y'all remember Baby Jake, right? Out of South Africa. I bet you heard this name before. The Meadowlands. You heard that other places, huh? But that's Meadowlands, Johannesburg, in the south of Africa, right? Yeah. But just that name, just to have a name like that, like Baby Jake, and then y'all sir probably know Patrick Clinton. Yeah, that's one of your guys, man. Come out of your area. Or what about Duke McKenzie coming out of your area, huh? You know about him? What you know about him? Or what about Dave McCauley come out of your area? What you know about him, man? Huh? What you know about him, man? What you know about the Korean fighters? See, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm throwing them up there today because everybody, and just so y'all know, this is my favorite flyweight. Well, for this show, this is my favorite flyweight right here. There you go. So there you go. He said Pancho died young and had loads of potential. I watched a few of his documentaries. There you go. So he figured out, yeah. So he figured out who it is, and that's my favorite fighter right there. He said he done a bit of research. There you go. He knew who it was, and I put up a certain picture. I mean, that classic, yeah, the hairstyle, right? But guess what? Another thing about Pancho, I love that name, man. That's not his name though. That's his name. For 5 points, I'll give you 10 seconds. What was his real name? And matter of fact, his real name is kind of a common name, right? It's a common name. So what was his name? I mean, you got 5 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Huh? So that means Eagle got to give it to you, right? His name was Francisco. That's one of them names that stay with me. That Francisco. Francisco V. Gallardo. And why is Francisco V. Gallardo, why is that significant to know him right now? That's probably why they shortened that was actually an outlaw too. The Pancho Villa was actually an outlaw. You understand? It's actually an outlaw. But that's what the Villarreal, that's where they got his, because I just said V, but that's where they got the Villa from, right? But Pancho. So Pancho Villa. You might as well be you're a boxing banger, right? Yeah, he died pretty young. But a lot of the champs died young back then. The one right next to him, he Joshua said, no idea. He said, laughing out loud. He said, don't say it was Jack. He said, okay, yeah, there we go. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't Jack. No. It wasn't Jack. It's Francisco. Yep, Francisco. Yep. Sir Flame says, salute to Eagles way up. Salute to the chat. And as always, jab that like button on y'all neck. He said, don't get neck in Eagles way up. Boxing with the fire up good. Got the glove up good today. And he got the 100 before he got the shoot. Y'all already know what that is, man. Those are the weapons that they might have to put on you. You know what I mean? Yep. But we'll come up with a date too, though. I'll tell you what. This for y'all, sir. So y'all, sir, what we'll do a date, and you guys can bring stuff to the table. You know what I mean? Let me find something. I want to find like the best, like some of the best shows, or the best sources for information. I would like to dig into the Marvin Hagler, but it's probably we can't dig into it. Probably Bob has he probably did a good job of racing his trail. You know, his trail of tears when it comes to Marvin Hagler not getting a shot until late. That the Lewis Ali, that's a pretty good one too, though. The one we just talked about a little bit the other day with Panama, that's pretty good. We even got some more that came after that, like the Burbick and stuff like that. And who else? So we got a lot. And then I'm going to tell you one that's intriguing, a newer one. It's not new, like brand new, but a more modern day one is Arturo Gatti. That's modern day. But these guys, they actually, a lot of the lightweights, I didn't get that either, man, when I was researching the lightweights too, though, is what I didn't get is a lot of them did die early too. A lot of them died, kind of young. You understand? They did. They died kind of young. And but he died way young though. But the reason this is crazy too though, because he was in San Francisco, California, right? But the crazy thing about him dying like super young like that, probably younger than anybody that's in my audience right now. He was a grown man, but he was just barely a grown man. I like that style. Good style. But that was, see, now everybody's crying, everybody's screaming and yelling for yeah, that I see what you wrote right there, but we got there. That I'm just saying, I'm just putting something out there that would be like another thing. That would be a great thing for investigating and stuff. Because we do grown folks boxing, and so you made a lot of sense today. Because we do grown folks boxing, we don't do the chopping it up about who's gonna fight next when they ain't really gonna fight. F that, man. We just wasting our time doing that. We're not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all there's a fight coming up. Yeah, Benavidez is fighting this weekend. Okay, that's a fight that's coming up. Carissa Shields is his fault. That's a fight this happened. But I'm not going to bring up this crap about all these wannabe fights and shit. It just ain't happening. But that was the first fighter out of the PI. You understand? That was recognized. Now, we could probably go into, we probably can go in on that a little bit too, of what happened and stuff like that. But guess where he comes out of? He comes out of a brown people's country, or what would you call it? State, province, or whatever you want to call it, because he comes out of Los Negros Occidental, in the Philippine Islands. That's where he comes out of. That's one of the brown nations over there. Thus the name, the Spanish name that gave it, the Negros. See? Yep. Yep. Ended up, so just think about that. He's way over there in the island that they really still ignore to today, and ends up way over here. And you got to realize that. Yeah. Yeah. He did good though. Because he got the championship. He got the Filipino championship. Right? He went back home for a little while. He went there. That's crazy because he actually just didn't want to fight no more. Whatever. He had some fights under his belt, but I'm saying just didn't want to fight. So he goes over there and he goes back over to retire or whatever. That's crazy, man. Because his name, his name came from, you can tell by his name. His name actually came from, it's a Spanish name, came from, Mexico. And that's what made him the villain too, though. You think about it, because that makes him the villain because the villa, or the villain, see, that comes from his name. His name. That was because that was a so-called they always got guerrilla leaders down south, right? Always got some kind of guerrilla leaders, and that was a guerrilla leader back in the day. Yep. And made that Paquito. And that was another name for him. Instead of Pancho, that was another name for Paco Villa. Paco. Paquito. The little one. Yeah. Isn't that cool though? So before Pacquiao, that's what we end up having. the Filipino whirlwind. You didn't see that coming, did you? The Filipino whirlwind, though. So the Filipino whirlwind, one of those fighters that we could say, we can honestly say, they left the sport too early. And I'm gonna tell you something, because we always talk about these. So we talk about how fighters fight with broken jaws and all this. Another reason nobody can get mad at the eagle, right? So another thing is that he had a bad tooth. So his tooth was infected, right? Before he was gonna have a bout, and so he went in pain with it to the dentist to get it extracted, and should have actually postponed the fight. He lost the fight, but he should have postponed the fight, but he wouldn't have had the fight anyway. You understand? He was fighting one-handed because he's mostly covering up his jaw. And you probably read that. I'm saying to y'all, sir, he probably read about that because he did research. So he probably, yep. And back then they didn't, for some reason, now this could be controversial. I didn't even want this one to be controversial. But it can be. Because from one infected tooth, he ended up with more infected teeth. Okay, so before I even finish, before I even go on, so what was the main thing, the main medicine that they would have used that would have been strong enough probably to knock out infection back in the day? Somebody tell me that. And then I'll go on and I'll tell you some more about the story. So I'm going to just tell you what usually happens. This really tragic. Sometimes, hey, that's a form right there, though. That's a form. He said amoxicillin. That might be what. There you go. Let me see what else you got. Though Pancho young and had loads of potential. Okay, no idea. Don't say it was Jack. Okay, didn't Gowdy's wife get him? Yeah, a lot of people saying stuff like that. I heard she had mob ties, got him killed, and took everything. Amoxicillin, but it's actually penicillin. And see, here's the thing about it. So what happens, and this is not funny because, it's not funny in the first place, but I know a little bit about this because I've actually suffered. I had blood poison before, in which they call it like cellulitis. So what happened is more of his teeth got infected. And then before you knew it, it went into his throat. And so after it went into his throat, Um, and when you get this infection in your throat, they call it Ludwigs syndrome. And so that's what he ended up suffering for. And so they went to go operate, and he went into a coma. Yeah. So what I said, syndrome was angina. That's what I don't know why I said syndrome, but yeah, he went into a coma. He ended up dying, man. 17 days. 17 days before his 24th birthday that he died. But a great little champion, man, and the first champion up out of there, out of the Philippines. And I just don't want to bring it up, man, but I think his life should have been saved. Some doctors are very smart. Now, see, I didn't want to really talk about that, but it kind of bothers me right now. Now that I think about it, because I didn't know I didn't know we was going to talk about this. I didn't know I was going to have to go that far with it. But at one point, I could have lost one of my limbs or lost my life because of something similar to what he had. It took an intelligent doctor or somebody who was actually looking out for me to say what was wrong, because I had already been to other doctors that was just skipping it and just acting like, oh, you just got hurt or whatever, and they were just passing it by. And so we don't never look at stuff like that, so we don't know how fortunate we are sometimes when we run into somebody. Now, I don't necessarily believe in the medicines and stuff like that, because ego gonna do his own now, but not back then. Not back then. And matter of fact, I was actually a soldier back then too. And you gotta look at, there has to be divine intervention to touch that man, to have him to look and see what was going on. And like I said, I'm not gonna try to make this. I'm not making this into anything racial, so don't start thinking, oh, racial, you can turn to race. We don't do racial stuff in here. I'm just saying that he should have been saved. That's all I'm saying. There's other things this at work. See, I got to slow down. I usually talk real fast, but I got to slow down to choose my words wisely. But we say that there's other things, other issues at hand, or other things at work when something like this, transpires, when it's something like that. But I was just picking these guys out, just like because I like the names and too. But these three guys in particular, I only named one of them so far. I've only named one of them so far, but I'll give you the other two. But this is Asian shout out. They just had their New Year's. And matter of fact, today is New Year's for me. Okay. Regardless of what the calendar says or whatever somebody else said. But for me, this is actually New Year's. I'll celebrate. You guys must know, if you've been following Eagle, that I'm always going to say that today is New Year's. So today is New Year's. So happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year's to me. But there's other things that's at work sometimes that keeps people from being seen. We've seen it. Now, when they call it, when it's something that's racial, they bring it up and they'll bring it out on the news. Well, they didn't look at them for 15 minutes or something like that, or they didn't look at them until an hour. They didn't take them into surgery for this long or whatever. There's always something like that happens. And why does this happen? Now, this is not a racial debate. Because it could have just been, think about it, it could be incompetency. Does that sound familiar? That somebody's just incompetent? So it could just be incompetency. It could be that. You know. So we could say that, but we can't, you know, we can't get like completely upset, and we can't look at stuff just one way all the time. And that's why it's good when Yasser came up. When Yasser comes up and Yasser brings up the point that, yeah, we need to, we got time. Ain't nobody fighting, ain't nobody doing shit. Yeah, we got time to do something on conspiracy or whatever else. So we got time to do that. I just don't, I may not have all the time to research. I got to go back in my brain and I got to think. So a lot of the information I have, I just go back and I just start thinking and thinking and thinking. I start thinking about these names and stuff like that. And to bring up the next name, now the reason this guy is important, a lot of people might not even like him. Like, oh, I don't know why you got him up there. But guess what? I'm going to put him up there anyway. Because that's what I want to do. If you don't like it, that's your business. See? That's your business. You know. Because I asked you to put your 3 fighters up there, and I told everybody where we was going. That's the whole thing that kills it. The whole thing that kills it is, as I told everybody, they have their people ready. And they're like, oh, shoot. So the flyweight is just killed them. Killed everybody. You know what I mean? The flyweight killed everybody. Like, oh, shoot, I don't know who's flyweight. Oh, what? See, nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows these flyweights, right? But that's why you got to get to know, you know, you got to go back and, you know, you got to get to know them. Yep. Yep. I was going to see if I can find like some other pictures and stuff. Like I can find some more pictures and stuff, but I don't know if I can find them or not. But we'll see. Maybe I can pull up some good pictures. But anyway, yeah. So the guy that's next to Vila is a guy by the name of Yoshio Shirai. And guess what? Now, why is Yoshio Shirai, why is he so significant as a flyweight? Why is that? Why is he significant? Okay, first of all, first and foremost, and probably most importantly, that we had a lot of tension. You wasn't expecting that, huh? We had a lot of tension with Japan. Matter of fact, we went to war with Japan. Matter of fact, we dropped them things on them over in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That we dropped them things on them, right? Them things being the A-bombs that we had dropped on them. We dropped bombs on them. So we dropped bombs on them. So tension's real high. So I didn't want to bring it up, but so you have to look at, probably at that time, sentiments was high after that point, and racism probably was still high. Because even today, racism hasn't went anywhere. Now, why I pick up Yoshio Shirai? Okay, so professional boxer out of Tokyo. For one thing, it comes out of Tokyo. We had Olympics over in Tokyo, right? But he won the flyweight title 10 years after the so-called, after these wars and stuff like that. So, 1952. And he became the first Japanese boxer to win a world title. Right? And by the way, he lived to be 80, whereas some of the fighters, I was checking on some of the fighters, man. Some of the fighters, to me, they were still young. Well, they're young enough not to be dying, like not even 50, like 47, 49 and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's actually good that's good for him though. Yeah. And these little guys, they don't have a whole lot of knockouts, but he has some knockouts though. Sure, he had close to 30, out of his total fights, had close to 30 his wins. He put to his wins, so 46 and 18. What's that? That's in the 30s. And most of them are usually in like the 20s and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he started off in the, the carnival type settings and stuff like that. Yeah. Here come y'all, sir. Salute to Gil Cole's finally got his ass up in here. But look at y'all, sir, again. He talking about Pancho Villa. Y'all, sir, Pancho Villa. Yeah, we already done talked about him. But Gil comes in. Look at Gil. He talking about Gil. But anyway, salute out to Gil. Let me read what he put down. He said, Gil Cole's at y'all, sir, Hussein. He said, what Eagles we're talking about? I don't even know why I read that out. Gabriel. Oh, Lord. God dang. Here you go. Here you go. Go on, get it off your chest. Whatever you got to get out your system. Get the shit out your system. No. If you would have been in here, you would have been able to listen to the whole story. And so I guess you're going to have to go over the show so you can listen to the whole story again. Because I'm not going by your best, but if that's your best Filipino fighter, that's good. I'm going with the youngster, and the reason I'm going with the youngster at that time, the reason I'm going with the youngster is because the youngster did a lot of great things at being such a young age. And then to die a tragic death, at such a young age like that. You know what I mean? So the back what I was saying. So now so I just found I was looking for some pictures, but so now I just pulled it up so now I can add to my story here. So when I add to my story, like I said, he started off, carnival type settings and stuff like that. He had to join the Imperial Japanese Navy so he fought in the war, right? So after being released in 45, he returned to boxing, but was almost forced into retirement because of his injuries he had sustained during the war. Now, you see why he's a good choice? Because this thing is going to have to come down, and I'm not saying that somebody outside of America or outside of England or Mexico won't be my title champion, my all-out champion, because when you do the research, you find out that these guys went through a lot, right? But now, so he gets back into so he gets a Jewish trainer, right? So he gets a Jewish trainer, another Khan, a Jewish trainer, not with the K, but with the C, and he gets his skills up and stuff. You just go back and look at some of his fights. Yeah, so he's pretty aggressive. Yeah. Pretty aggressive, probably took a little bit of, took some beatings, or you took some punches and stuff like that. 8 losses, 4 draws, but the reason I pick him, or the reason I'm discussing him, is because he had to go through. So we talk about the controversies. We talking about like the nation prejudice against you, or racial prejudice against you. Well, here's a guy that probably had to go through the racial prejudice and everything else, had to go through the war, was hurt from the war, still gets in there and boxes his ass off, very, very aggressively and stuff. And then goes in there and, gets that action on. It gets the smoke. But one thing we're not talking about no pockets, right? Huh? Are we talking about that? Yep. We're not talking about that at all, are we? Yeah. The reason we're not talking about that is because back then they just fought. So you can start. So what happens here is you start finding out the metal from today. And I don't care if you bring up Keith Thurman, you bring up, and a lot of other fighters. That's why Errol Spence stands out, is because of the metal of today. The metal When I talk about the medal, it's shit that you had to go through, it's stuff that you had to overcome to get where you're at. And I'm not just talking about the impoverished, because that's what they're always going to bring up. Everybody always brings up the impoverished. Well, what about being forced into the military? What about, taking probably some shrapnel or something like that? How about you getting shot and stuff like that? How about still coming back and fighting? Makes a good case for Shirai, right? That makes a good case. Maybe that's why they even came up with the name Yoshi, huh, for some of them games. Yoshi. But just think about it. You have to go fight. You get hurt. You still get into professional boxing. And you in there whooping ass. And you become the first champ. Huh? You become champ. You the first Japanese champ. You the first. And take along with that, now you the first champ. You the first champ that ever was in the Navy. You was the first champ that was ever in the Navy and went through and got hurt in the Navy and still fought. And you probably was the first champ that had to go through some type of racism when you was over here. Because if you remember back in the time we talked about the climate, they was talking about internment camps and stuff. Remember? I told you about the Sandy. We talking about flyweights today, but yeah, Sandy Sadler. Yeah, we was talking about we talking about flyweights. But anyway, Sandy Sadler, he has to be up there in the top 3, 4. Well, yeah, he has to be up in there. He got to be up there. I didn't discuss him as much as you wanted me to, but he has to be up there. But see what I'm doing? I'm taking the focus away from all the so-called problems that we have over here, because we'll always discuss the things of, like the native. We're going to discuss them. We're going to discuss the so-called African American, the white problem, the prejudice, and all that type of stuff. But have we ever discussed that somebody's more or less you thrown into a war and you get out of the war? We had volunteers that went to war. Nobody was thrown into a war. Joe Louis and them, they wasn't thrown in the army. We had one champ that they tried to throw into the army. That was Muhammad Ali. They tried to throw him into the army. But then again, wasn't Joe Frazier of age back then too? I never heard nothing about him being thrown in. Never heard nothing about Jim Brown being thrown in. Wasn't they all of age back then? They had other athletes back then. Remember Lou Alcindor? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Wasn't he back then? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. We had a lot of other people, football players. We had, maybe Jackie Robinson was too old. What about, I don't know, with Jackie Robinson? What about, what's the other one? Right? Who's right after Jackie Robinson? Mays. What about Mays? What about Mays? What about, who else? I'm just talking about the colored people right now, for the most part. I'm just saying that there was other athletes back then. Why was Ali the target? Matter of fact, the people he fought. What about Williams? What about what about Liston? I'm trying to clear my mind of the what about Foley? So what happened? So, you know what? When you don't stop and when you don't slow down to have the discussion, then what happens when you don't slow down to have the discussion? What happens if you don't slow down to have the discussion is you're looking like this with blinders on. You're only going to look one way. Because everybody talk about Ali's draft. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Why are we talking about Ali's draft? Who else were they trying to draft? Why nobody else was getting drafted? Why was the target? Why was he being targeted for a draft? No, who talks about that? Huh? Who talks about that? Yeah, conscription, that's a war term. That's a war term, y'all, sir. Okay, there you go. See, y'all, sir, putting it out there. So, y'all, sir, is called. Y'all, sir, is saying that people were thrown in the army here for WW2 in the UK. Any man or boy over the age of 16 and being able-bodied. But Gil said it's called a draft. We ain't talking about football. We ain't talking about basketball. We talking about wars. You see what y'all sir just said right there? I'm glad he came up with it right now. That he came right after you said it's called draft. He came back. They said they was thrown in. Didn't matter. If you was able, you was thrown in. So if you was thrown in, think about it. Well, just give me an answer then. I just want to answer. So when they concentrated on Ali, then who else should have been? So there was no other athletes that they need to concentrate on? Huh? Just a boxer. Give me a break. I'm not going to fall for I'm not falling for no okie shit, no dumb shit. Y'all can say what you need to say. But I'm not going to fall for something. I'm not gonna fall for something dumb. The people that I put up today I did something different for the flyweights because all these men were first. All these men were first, and guess what? They're all in the flyweight division, but they are all first. And guess what? They just happen to have something in common that they were Asian. That's not what he's saying. He said conscription. That's a war term right there. You got to look it up. Conscription. That's all he's saying. If you coming out and asking me when I'm presenting already questions, you can't ask me a question when I'm asking questions. You can't ask me the question because I said. So there was nobody else to go after but Ali. If you want to call it conspiracy. I'm not going so far as to call it a conspiracy. But why to focus on one man? Did they think they was going to win Vietnam? Because of if you get Ali, we're going to win. We'll change the whole thing about how we're going to fight this war and we'll get an agreement. And so what'll happen is he'll take their best fighters and whoop their ass and we win the war. What was the thought process? I know what you're saying. You said, no, I'm asking you, Eagles Web. You said Ali being drafted was a conspiracy and you got a question mark behind it. I don't know what the hell it was. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but I'm saying, was there no other able bodies outside of just boxing? Or did they need Muhammad Ali? And I was just clowning right now. You just heard me clowning about the whole shit. And by the way, before you got here, y'all sir did bring up a good point. He said that we need to do a show on one of the so-called conspiracies. Maybe we can get into the Ali thing. Maybe we can dig into that and find out. You know what I mean? Maybe we can get into that and dig into that. Ain't nobody fighting. And I know you're going to miss my whole point. And see that with your question, you're already missing my whole point. You said 2.2 million people were drafted. What is 2.2 million? 2.2, what else? How many hundreds of thousands? And how many came back with PTSD? You said that 2.2 million were drafted for Vietnam. Okay. And what does that mean? So what? That's not answering the athletic question I was asking. You're talking about regular folk. You're talking about regular, like 9 to 5 people or whatever. You're talking about, and most of them, guess what the average age for a fighter guess what the average age was? It was 19. in which I listen to that song all the time. I listen to all the remixes of it. 19. No, 19. I listen to it. So, 19 years old. The average age for WW2 was 20 what? 26 years old, right? So 26 versus 19. Huh? Wasn't Ali married? Oh, he wasn't legally married. Wasn't he married? What you doing going after a married man? He was already married, right? Was he 19? Didn't he have a brother? I don't know. It's too much to now that I start bringing it out. It's too much to be trying to answer, and it's too much to mess with. It's too much to even mess with. I don't even know if I want to mess with that. Because the thing is, you're getting to another side of it, and that's not what I was saying. I'm not saying how many people got drafted. There's people around me that got drafted. There's family members and stuff that got drafted. So what? What does that mean? What does that mean? It means absolutely not. It means nothing to the point that Ali was not the only athlete that could have been drafted. Okay. So that's enough on your shield. But I covered a lot on that one though. Yeah. A lot of these fights, I noticed that a lot of fights, there's a lot of championship fights that happen in May. I don't know. Sometimes certain stuff come to my mind. And I'm just thinking a lot of championships, and there's a lot of May championships, and people love May for some reason. You always hear about something's going to be in May, a major fight or something like that. And then all of a sudden, then they take over with the Cinco de Mayo and all that. But the Cinco de Mayo didn't even exist back then. It was just May. There's a lot of fights in May. A lot of summer fights. You realize there was a lot of fights probably from May until August. Like the earlier fights. Now, can somebody tell me, like when in the glove era, why was there so many fights from May? I'm not saying there wasn't any fights past that, but why were so many fights made from May till around August? That's your trivia question. It's just your idea. You can say what you want to, but what I'm saying is, why was there so many fights from in the beginning from May until August? Why was there so many fights? When they start putting the gloves. I see my brother down there, D-Lo 404, in here to put Gil's ass in check. Because Gil's messing up. But like I said, the reason I have the Asian fighters up there today is because these fighters are their first for their country. And so Pancho Villa, he was the first for his country. Not just the first he wasn't no Manila champion like Pacquiao. He was a Negro champion. He was from the dark-skinned island. Yes, he was from the dark-skinned island, right? And Yoshio from Japan, they just threw his ass up in the Navy. Get your ass in the Navy. You're going to fight this war. Just threw his ass in there. You're going to fight that. Got hurt and still came back and was the first Japanese fighter to win a championship. See, I wanted to get away, and it's hard to even find certain people. Hey, Gil, just because you're talking to D-Lo don't mean I can't see what the hell you wrote. I should strip it. I should take it down. But anyway, let me see what y'all sir got. That damn Gil Cole's all day long, every day you can count on Gil to start some shit with Eagle. That's his job. If y'all didn't know his job, that's his damn job. Y'all sir Hussein said PTSD is the last thing on the list. You had kids going back home with missing limbs and drug problems, and top your government washes their hands, and them kids and the national disown them. Yeah, that's it. But I'll tell you what, the real PTSD that's the biggest thing, because they got to live with it forever. I'm not saying That bothers them more than a limb, because a limb heal, you just realize, oh, you ain't got my limb no more. But what are you going to be thinking about that limb? A lot of times you can be thinking about what happened when you got shot, or you ended up on a landmine and blow your leg off. You're going to be thinking about that. That's the real PTSD. It's something when you think, because that shit bothers you. There's a lot of different things that bother you when it comes to that. That stuff that the people don't talk about. There's sights that bothers that. You hallucinate. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff. There's even smells that bring that up, like certain smells and stuff like that. But I don't want to get into that. I'm not really going to get into that. But I just think these were some little monstrous flyweights. Regardless, I'm sorry. These were some little monstrous little flyweights. And then my last guy, you guys didn't. Okay, so can you name my last guy I have up there? And if you're looking at your phone or your viewing device on the right hand side, can anybody tell me who that is? I'll give you one hint. His name starts also with a P. It's kind of close. His name starts with a P. So I'll give you guys a little bit of chance, and you guys can think about that. And why Eagle got him this time. Yeah. So you guys can look at this one. And just to let you know, just in case you, yeah, he kind of died young too, though. In this case, you know, he actually does have this one has a statue. So this fighter does actually have a statue. Just letting y'all know. I put up certain pictures. I don't know. Y'all try to click on the picture. Oh, who's that? So who's that? So remember I told you, we got some good Asian fighters up here today on the flyweight. So we talking about these flyweights and stuff. I don't know, who's your best flyweights? Who's your favorite 3, 4, 5? See, it gets harder now, right? Remember we did all those easy categories. Then we said, God, there's a lot of beasts at middleweights. There's a lot of beasts at 175. And so put your thinking caps on. Because I believe next show, I think we're gonna do we're gonna do a lot of discussion and stuff. We're gonna try to figure out, you know, which one is more important for us to do as far as our conspiracy, our controversy. Which one's more important? Which past controversy was the most important, most significant, or not necessarily has to be, but we'll try to get the votes to see what's significant, what we should cover. Because we got time, ain't nobody really fighting. So we got time to do that. Okay, your time's up. Your time's up. I gave y'all plenty of time to figure out who it was. Y'all didn't want to figure out who it is. Has kind of a funny name, but his name is Pony. P-O, like Pone, like P-O-N-E. King Petch. And guess where he's fighting out of? That's right. That is Thailand's first champion. Yeah. Out of the right side. Left hand first. Yep. And he was actually a 3-time. He was actually a 3-time. If you look him up, he was a 3-time champion right there too, though. Yep. And this one is right before May. Like I said, what was my question? Why are so many fights in May, June, July, August like that? But this one's actually in April. Still close though. He was almost made it to May, but that's when he got the championship. And I urge you, if you get a chance, to go back and look at his style. If you go back and look at his style, I think you're gonna like him. You're gonna kind of like, God dang, this little dude is kind of crazy, right? You're gonna look at his style. You know what I mean? So go back and look at his style. And I picked these guys, these little scrappers and stuff. This guy here was, like I said, the first champion out of Thailand, right? And he actually does have, like I said, they gave him a statue. Because remember, another thing that I put this up, that's how prestigious this boxing is. That's how, these people are happy. They're gonna love him a lot more over there than what you're gonna love him. And to be honest, this guy was kind of tall, to be honest, to be such a little guy, right? 5'6.5" to be a flyweight. Yeah, most of those little shorties like 5'4", 5'3", something like that. The shortest one probably 4'11", 5 feet, something like that. With the shortest one, right? But that's good. That's good though. D'Lo will usually have something too though. So I don't know who's D'Lo. Who you got on them flyweights? D'Lo probably at work too though. Yeah. But ever since, Gil's getting more and more cocky ever since Tampa Bay, won the Super Bowl. He's just getting more and more, beside himself. He can't help himself. I forgive him. He's halfway gone, so it's all good. I let him do what he feels like he has to do. Yeah. And by the way, this the controversial WBC that we talk about, because we talk about this controversial WBC. Guess what? He was their first champion also. When they first brought their asses around, he was their first champion. Guess what? Ain't that pretty cool? When they first come around, it ended up being was named the first WBC champion, right? Yeah. I don't know. So you might want to look up also. I didn't talk about him, but Salvatore Barini. These are just interesting guys, I think. And that's who finally got him. Yeah, that's who finally got him right there. And it's kind of this is crazy because both of these fighters, Yoshio and Pone, they both died of some type of pneumonia. And he died. He was 47 when he died. His pneumonia and heart. He had some kind of heart problem at the same time. Go figure, right? All this stuff. Pneumonia, heart, and also then throat infection. God dang. You can't script something like that, man. You think about it. You fighting the war. The one that fought in the war actually lived longer than the other two. It's just, I don't know, man. Life is something else, man. It's special, but it's really something else, man, when when it boils down to it. Wow. That's just crazy, man. Yeah. Wow. But my salutes out to these guys. The memory of them that they being talked about in 2021, because there's a lot of other fighters that we could have talked about, and there's a lot of fights that we do talk about, and a lot of times we leave out certain fighters. And I just want to show everybody to help that Eagle is not on no hate trip. That we're not hating on the Asian fighters or nothing like that. Because if you can get in there and scrap, get your ass in there and scrap. We want to see good boxing. Man, I would love to see a little Asian fighter in there whooping somebody's ass. I don't give a damn. Shit, he might be my brother. I don't know. Might be. If he in there whooping some ass, then you in there whooping some ass that we need to get. But we can't even get answers. We can't get no questions answered and stuff in there. Because I asked why, because Gil comes back with all this other stuff that talking about how many people was drafted for Vietnam. I'm like, that wasn't the question. I'm asking you. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you why was Ali the only athlete that seemed like that they you know what I'm saying, that they went after. Why was Ali the main one that they went after? You know what I mean? And everybody worried about bags and stuff. These guys was in wars and everything else, man. They suffered all kinds of tragedies and stuff coming out of a country. Look, you got one of them coming out of the so-called Black Island. That's why they named it Negros. Don't think the Spanish named it Negros because it was a bunch of, pink people living there, white people or orange or whatever. Huh? He came all the way over here, was whooping the ass up until a certain point. Huh? Just like Yoshio, same thing. Started off with the comedy, with the, in circuses and stuff like that, carnivals, playing around with the kangaroos and all that, pretending like they fighting, and then really getting serious, and then getting a trainer named Khan, another Khan artist, gets him as a trainer, and then and then becomes champion, becomes the first Japanese champion, and also fought in the war and got hurt. Man, is anybody getting hurt today like that? Who these guys that right now that act like they deserve so much money? These guys. If we can bring these guys back, these guys would deserve all the money that the ones that's talking about how much money they deserve. Oh, well, I deserve this kind of money and blah, 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 blah. And you ain't did shit. You still mad because your mom ain't breastfeeding you still. You still mad, but at the same time, you deserve so much money. Get your ass all the way up out of here. I'll chase you out the house with a broom. Ego ain't playing with y'all. I'll chase your ass out the house with a broom. Get your ass up. Get your ass all the way up out of my house. Yeah, what had happened was, I got all these guys with what had happened was. But I know I'm not going to get none of my questions answered because my questions are always too difficult. In which they're not, but I just want somebody to come back sometime. Ali, how come the whole focus was on Ali? I never said it was a conspiracy. All I said is why wasn't they concentrating on any other athletes? Ali was not the only athlete back then. There's a lot of athletes back then. Why didn't they concentrate on all of them? Huh? Matter of fact, at one point, wasn't George Foreman eligible? Uh-oh. Everybody gonna get quiet, huh? Wasn't his ass eligible? He had to be eligible back there in '68, right? Shit was still going on. Still going on, right? I bring these things to the table because the rest of these chats ain't gonna talk about it. All they gonna talk about is somebody twerking. All they gonna talk about how much money somebody made. All they gonna do is talk about somebody's resume. How about your resume include other stuff outside the ring? Now I don't do things just like everybody else does, and I respect everybody's form. D-Lo has his own style. I respect D-Lo's style, and I go support D-Lo, and I give him his thumbs up, or I always give him comments. As soon as I see it, I get a chance, then I go see the brother. Other people have different styles and stuff like that. I don't care about other people's styles. As far as I'm not knocking anybody's style because I love what everybody does. Because everybody tries to bring something to the table. Some shit is boring because you ain't really bringing nothing. And what you're not bringing is you're not bringing a new perspective on things that we're talking about today. Like bring up something that's old right now. You see what I mean? Because everybody was saying draft. And so Gil brings up the draft when I talk about the draft. But guess what? The one thing about the draft, I'm going to tell you something that's very important when you talk about Ali. Even when you draft somebody, you got to make sure that they have to be competent when it comes. Even if you draft them, like, yo, you're going to be in the Army. You have to pass the test to get in. Ali did not pass the test. So think about it. If other people didn't pass the test, they were sent home. Like, you can't get in here. You can't pass our entrance exam. So there was nobody else that was available. See, the thing about it, when you mess with ego, you end up in trouble. With me, just I don't even have to really think to beat you. I don't have to think to beat you when it comes to topics like that. I don't even have to think. It's like, oh, yeah, you lost. I can just say you lost and you lost. That's it. I easily defeat you. Because of your lack of response or your response, I'm already going to defeat you. Your lack of response buries you already. But anyway, D-Lo's down there. He said, for sure. He said, much respect. There you go. And then you go, it was not selective. That's right. Repetitive. He said, regurgitation gets annoying. And that's all these people do all damn day long. You go to these, go just listen to another talk show. And a lot of them just claiming how they the best talk show. Look how small our little forum is. But all these shows are such a, you know what I'm saying? All these shows are such great shows. And I'm not knocking one particular show or nothing like that. But all they talking about is, I mean, yeah, they got the fancy music coming in and little cartoons and all this kind of shit. But what are you talking about? Same shit over and over. Even if you talk to one of the fighters, you're still talking about the same shit. And who cares? And the thing about it, do we want to keep talking about it? Because all we're going to do is talk. This is talk, but this is boxing talk, so we're going to talk about all the way of boxing. Hopefully we can come back up to talking about modern day boxing and a lot of stuff that's happening today. But we cannot, because they can't even figure out who's going to sign the paperwork. I want to fight D-Lo right now. So if I want to fight D-Lo right now, what I do? No, it has nothing to do with that, Gil. It has nothing to do with this being, you said it's my show. It has nothing to do with it being my show. Somebody out there has to understand what I'm saying. I love when somebody comes in and they actually understand what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with it just being my show. I asked a question. So if I ask a question in my show and you're not answering it, I say, why weren't they concentrating on anybody but Ali? That's what I'm trying to say. So if nobody else, think about it. If nobody else is going to talk about it and then I bring it up and I'm asking questions, then why can't I get just one answer? Why weren't they chasing nobody else but Ali as an athlete? Why is he the only one we ever heard about? All it did was make him so big. It made him huge. And he used everything that you're supposed to use. He uses the things that get you out of the. Matter of fact, if you was to get into the service today and you decided that you wanted to get out, now usually they won't let you out, but they still have that little clause in there, conscious objector. You can still get out on that basis. Like, no, I can't. I just realized I can't kill nobody. Huh? Now, if you have all that, you fail the test. You're a conscious objector, stuff like that. You have all that stuff lined up and they still go for you. Something's wrong. And this is by no means, no trying to, I'm not defending anybody. I'm just asking a question why. And I see what D-Lo put down at the bottom. That's right. He said that mouth and his influence. And see, Gil hates Ali because he said they were going to chase whoever dodged the draft. There was no dodge. He didn't go to Canada. He didn't go to Mexico. He didn't dodge the draft. I gave you the facts. The facts is that he failed the test to get into the. You cannot, even today, if you was to try to join the Army and you didn't pass the test, you are not joining the Army. If you try to join the Air Force today and you don't pass the test, you are not joining the Air Force. I don't care if there's a war or not a war. If you try to get into the Navy and you fail the test, you're not getting into the Navy. If you try to get in the Marines and you fail the test, you're not getting into the Marines. Now, granted, some of them you need more points and the tests are a little bit different in each one of them. But you got to pass in order to get in. There's no dodging nowhere. Only way you dodge is you leave. You get your ass out. That's the only way you can dodge. D-Lo 404 said right. He said Malcolm X failed the test too intentionally. Yeah, Malcolm X, he didn't go nowhere. Yeah. Look, D-Lo put the GFBT down there. Yeah. But that's what it is, man. I'm just saying. I put these. That's why I put these little. I'm glad that we were able to do flyweights today to put these little guys down there. They'll be in there again probably, even though they were just challenger. But shit, I'll throw them up there again when we do the next weight class. Yeah, some of them was up in there, but now we know a little bit about these guys at least, right? Maybe it caused some insight because I brought it to. I wanted everybody to understand because you got to know the environment. The environment when it's a war environment. And you could do a comparison. Okay, so one of the fighters went into the war and got hurt and still fought. Ali could have went into the war and got hurt and still fought, maybe. Or he might have got killed. Who knows? Who's to say? But the environment, hostile environment. The Vietnam was always going to be a bad environment anyway. If Ali would have been in there, people wouldn't praise him. They wouldn't love him. They would have hated him. He would have been marked as one of the most hated fighters for taking one life over in Vietnam. That's in my opinion. In my opinion. Just think about it, because it was the most hated war. That was the most despised war. And nobody's quite sure what it was fought over. I heard a lot of people, I heard people even say it was fought over rice. I heard it was fought over a lot of different things. But I don't know if Vietnam got the best rice. I like the Thai rice. And I'm not really a rice eater. I'll eat it. Matter of fact, I do have some. I made some with some chickpeas. It's pretty good. Look, some piminos in there, some sun-dried tomatoes, some regular tomatoes, some onions, some scallions, some chives, some, what I said, a little bit of chili powder in there. It's like a chili. And also some basil in there and some garlic, pepper, salt. Came out pretty good. Came out good. But today is New Year's, and so I don't eat today. It's New Year's today, so no eating. That's for me. It's New Year's for me. It's New Year's for the animals. I know y'all celebrated New Year's a couple of... I'm behind. I know. I'm sorry. I told you I'm an old spirit. I go back. Yep, there go Dilo. Dilo said, yep, the Coast Guard rejected me because of a knee injury. Then tried to donate me to the Marines, yeah? And a lot of times what happened is that, and Marines is not the scrapes. I'll tell you who takes the rejects. Usually the Army takes any kind of, if you have any kind of problem, Army takes you. Marines need you to be, because you might have to be, you're probably going to be a grunt in the Marines. More than likely, if you got a certain size. If you big, you're going to be a grunt. They're not going to tell you that. Your scores and shit might put you one place, but they'll weasel your way out of that somehow. Believe me, they'll get you out of there. Your ass going to be on the line. You're going to be on the front somewhere. I was in Armory, so I know. You're going to be, get your big ass over in the Army, or you get in the front. You gonna be a grunt, or you gonna get your ass over there in the Army, want something? You gonna be firing something big. You gonna be on tanks or something. Get your big ass up in there. And there's another good point that D'Lo made. Another good point. He said Ali may have ended up a victim of so-called friendly fire over there. Whatever would have happened, it wasn't gonna be nice either way. If he would have came back a hero, he wasn't gonna be a hero. And things work out for a reason. Things work out for a reason. But my whole point, D-Lo, is I was trying to find out why nobody else was being chased down. Some people just didn't get it. It messed them up. It's called a draft. It's called, come on. Nobody dodged the draft. That was just bullshit. That was some bullshit. Nobody dodged the draft. I don't care. You got to find me thousands of people that dodged the draft. No, they didn't. They just fought. A lot of them they didn't want their ass. A lot of them just failed the test. Some of them was just crazy as hell. They didn't want all of them. Young, moderately intelligent, and maybe of a certain ethnicity, or maybe of a certain subgroup, lower middle class to poor folk, something like that. No, it wasn't no college, wasn't no doctors, no college graduates and stuff like that. So stop that. Stop that. It's just sometimes you have to. That's why we got grown folks talk, because you're gonna do grown folks talk about it. We ain't gonna just let anybody just tell us anything. Oh, this is what they said, and just be shaking our head up and down. No, this is not that chat. This ain't that shake your head up and down chat where you just think is one way. Oh, this is the way they said it was. Oh, that's what they said, and we go with it. No, no, no. We gotta. Sometimes we gotta go back over stuff, and we gotta think. We can't look at all excuses are not, they're not someone say, oh, it's not instantiated or what is it's uninstantiated or whatever, like that. No, we got to look, and we looking for some type of validity in stuff. Gil Cole said, I'm just gonna sit back and be quiet. Nah, brother, you're my little brother, man. Hey, I'll bother your ass in a minute. Hey, you know me. I'll call your ass up. Don't even start that shit talking about you gonna be quiet. I don't want you to be quiet. I need the controversy. But I want you, even with the controversy, I still want some kind of understanding that, I planted these three fighters because more or less is environment. Like Thailand, we didn't have like such an environment with them. But Philippines, we have an environment with them. But their president right now, I mean, not too long ago, kind of shitted on us. He didn't like us, right? He kind of mad. You bring your ass over here if you want to, starting some shit. He don't play like that. They've had presidents that didn't play. But I brought up Yoshio because of that environment, the whole war environment. Then I just did like a little comparison. With Ali. A little bit of a comparison. But the fight, when he fought in World War II, the fight back then, it was more of a prestige. They were happy when you came back. But maybe not on our end they were happy. But maybe over in Japan, maybe they were happy, but it was kind of a somber type of happy. They wasn't quite as happy because they had to more or less withdraw because we did some pretty, I don't know, in my opinion, that's kind of scandalous. If you want to fight somebody, then fight. I mean, I'm not knocking on your door. I mean, I know you got a lot of weapons at your house or whatever, and I go over there with a bow and arrow, right? But what you don't see behind me is you got all your AK-47, you got all kind of stuff. You got all your Max and all this other stuff, right? You got all your Glocks and everything else. And so I know you got a full arsenal, but guess what happens? I'm showing you a bow and arrow, but that's not all I bought. I bought a freaking time bomb, and that shit is set to go off. It's set to go off like as soon as I toss it into your house. It's set to go off. So I mean, well, how fair is that? And they always say there's nothing fair in love and war, though. There's no fairness. So when we talk about stuff like this, so we can actually go like even into these fighters, we can go even deeper into Ali. We can go even deeper. So I'm still happy that y'all sir brought this up, and we'll do one. We'll discuss it. We're gonna come in and we're gonna discuss, and then we're gonna figure out. And so we're gonna just go into maybe just discovering what had went down in one of these so-called conspiracies. We'll figure it out. No, we'll figure that out. That's what we're gonna do. D-Lo back there said Gil's probably still tired from driving Keith across the country for a speaking engagement earlier in the week. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you just brought that up earlier. Yeah, D-Lo bringing it up again. Yeah, Keith.
See, what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do to him. He got this little thoracic T-Rex arms. I'm gonna do some damage to him. So that's all. You're looking for some pain, son. You're looking for some pain. That's all I'm gonna say about you. You're looking for some pain. I got you. No worry about it. I've got you.
Yeah, Gil Coles came back. He got a sense of humor. Gil Coles came back. He said, "D-Lo." He said, "Yeah, it was a long ride." Y'all so stupid. See, that's why I enjoy coming here. That's why I like to mess with y'all. That's why I end up staying my ass in here late all the time, don't I? This was supposed to be like a short, extra short show. It never is. It never ends up being like short. Because when you have grown folks talk, you start having a grown folks discussion about it. No kids to distract us. And so we get to come in and, we're going to talk about it. We talk about the boxing. Nobody deserves a purse. Shut the ass up and fight. Because none of y'all even deserve a purse. I don't care. Benavidez, you don't deserve shit. You come in fat and who cares? We paying to see our prime time players. Just think about it. If you go back, if you were a fan, like, I know Gil Coles, I know he likes football and stuff like that. And a lot of us like football. But it's like you got certain players on your team, but I'm going to go back just a little bit. Probably, I'm going to go back. Let's say, for instance, let's go into like the 90s was a great year. Like in the 90s and stuff like that. So like mid-90s and stuff like that. So let's say, for instance, like Deion Sanders. He was great at running all kinds of touchdowns from passes. He can run a touchdown in. He can run a kickoff back, a punt back, a kickoff back. He can just run all that stuff back. So we going into the stadium to watch Deion Sanders. Everybody's all fired up. Okay, fresh. This a new season and all that, and they kick off to him. And you find out that he's just all out of shape. So he makes it to like the 15-yard line, and it takes him like forever to get there. How you going to feel about that? How you going to feel about your ticket if that's who you came to see? The ticket price, how you going to feel about your ticket price that you just spent the money for that ticket? How do you feel? Do you feel good about it? Like, oh, yeah, it's a wise investment. It was good that I came. I just wanted to come out, show my support. Or are you going to be like, what the hell is he doing? I'm gonna tell you what. If you are a conscious person, if you got sense, you're gonna be mad as hell. There you go. Gil said the Bucks gonna run it back next year. We're gonna see about that running back. Make sure you mark it down. Oh, New Year's. This is New Year's. So New Year's, March 12th. This is New Year's. This is Eagles New Year. Okay, I'm with the animals, so this is New Year's for me. I know y'all celebrated it a couple of months ago, but like I said, this is New Year's. And so you guys mark your calendar for Gil. Gil said the Bucks is going to run it back next year. They're running it back. Did you have to wear a rain jacket in the car, Gil? Or was keep quiet? Oh, my goodness. That's funny, D-Lo. You stupid today. D-Lo said that he had to wear a rain jacket. No, he had to wear. Hey, D-Lo, he had to wear a face shield. He had to put that face shield on. Like, oh shit! Keep talking. with a little battery operated wiper on it. With the alkaline, two batteries on it. It holds 4 batteries up here. It holds 4 batteries up there. Yeah. Yeah, D-Lo said he just talking. Yeah, D-Lo stupid. All y'all crazy, man. All y'all must be family because everybody come in here crazy as hell, man. Everybody who come in here. Think about it. Everybody come in here. We got like certain people come. Everybody who come in here. I mean, on a consistent basis. I'm not talking about we got a lot of. We got enough mods, but I'm not talking about trolls and like any kind of drop bys and stuff like that. But yeah, the little wipers and stuff. Yeah, but we got so many people that come by. So we got people that just gonna make you laugh, chat, make sense, not make sense. We got everything. We got everybody to come by, which is important, and I love it. I love it. It's like family. Nobody. That's one thing that. You go to some other chats. And I'm not telling you to subscribe, but just go to other chats and just look at the conversation. You're going to leave in a few minutes. You're going to just leave like, I don't even want to be in here. Because all they doing, they just fighting, blocking each other. All they doing is fighting. The whole time that we're in here, even if we fight, we kind of like play fighting. We pillow fighting. So between us, we pillow fight. I mean, some of us put cement in the pillow. You know what I'm saying, in the damn pillowcase. You know, it's not a real pillow. Sometimes somebody might throw a couple of bricks up in there, but it's more or less it's still a pillow fight. But that's with each other. But somebody else coming here, then it's all on. Ain't nobody gonna pillow fight your ass. You can't just come off the block and come here just talking. Now what you talking about? Blah blah. See, ain't nobody gonna pillow fight you. You came in reckless, so you deserved the reckless treatment, and so that's what y'all gonna get. Hey man. Let's try to come in, and we're gonna discuss. Let's see if we can discuss what kind of which past controversy we should cover, like the Ali, or the Ali listing, or the Burbick, or the Gotti, or it's so many of them, or the Marciano. That's a good one. The Marciano. The Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, where in Australia, right? So Jack Johnson in Australia, that one, or something. It's just so many. It's so many good ones, man. It's so many good ones. The Aaron Pryor. I mean, well, I'm just saying, you guys probably don't want some of the easier ones because you guys already made up your mind. You guys already made up your mind of what it do. That's how I was expect. That's what we needed in here, man. God dang it, Derek Bailey, where you been the last couple of days, brother? Fist pound from a distance, brother. Salute to Derek D to the Bailey. Yeah, we about to get up out of here, man. Eagle got to go to work, man. See, I done ran this show like real long and stuff. But just go back and check it out, D to the Bailey. I think I even mentioned you. Then we got D to the Bailey up in here, man. But yeah, but we're going to talk about these again. But these little flyweights, like I said, they all ended up being Asian and stuff. But check them out, man. Just look at some of the highlights. So if you can find some of the highlights of them little pony. Yep. Yoshio. That's our little Japanese champion, of course. The little Pancho out of the Negro. Came out of the Negro. So, and I keep saying the Negro just to let you know where it's at. So that's where he came up. You know, he came up out of the Negro. So don't be thinking. And we talked about some of the stuff that could have occurred because we know that the brother passed away from something that I think that they should have been up. That I think he shouldn't. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, but I'm just saying I don't think he should have passed away. I just do not feel that he should have passed away from something like that, and it's very severe because that's a form. Like I said, I actually had that before, but not the Ludwigs angina, that's a real heavy. That's a severe cellulitis because that gets into the tonsil area, throat, and all that, and then after a while you can't even breathe and stuff like that. It just shuts everything down on you like that there. But anyway, let's get out of here, man. My shout out to all the real people that I see. My shout out to all y'all that mess with me. You know, I almost added something right there. That was funny. I almost said, shout out to the rest of y'all, this family. That would have worked too, though. But the shout out to y'all, man. Man, y'all know what it is, man. This is another one of these Rush Fridays, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Nothing but blessings. That's right. We still here for a second or so. Always. Y'all see it. Yeah, make sure you go and check it out, Derek. Yep. I'm going to catch y'all, man.